the Laughing Monkey Music Show. How you doing tonight, Doug?
I'm doing great. I love the name, the Laughing Monkey. That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. Well, the story was real briefly is they say what's it about, and you say remember Mother Love Bone? Andy
Yeah.
Wood came up and said Mother Love Bone, Led
Uh-huh.
Zeppelin, Laughing
Uh,
Monkey Music. That's
I
my
love
joke.
ideas, and we're all just talking
How did you end up
about.
with George? Because I mean, the album, like that's another thing. Now the sound of that album
Mm,
is really interesting
uh,
because George sounds a little bit different for his playing too. Not
yes.
the ordinary
Here,
George, because usually you're
George will
Dokken or
even tell you
Lynch.
that. I was talking to George a couple days ago about this too, and he's a different kind of guitar player. He likes to he likes to he when we first started this band, I made a suggestion and said, in this band, since all three of us really have been doing this for a long time and I think we know what we're doing, let's not tell anybody what to do or write anybody's part or even suggest anything. I said, let's just write together and trust each other. And that's what would happen. It was like Ray would sit down and he'd be testing his drums and he's doing this drum beat thing, a pattern. And I go, dude, play that again. Play it a couple times. And all of a sudden I find my bass line in there. And then we just stop and go, George, check this out. What can you do with this? And George would go, huh? And he just go, and he look at us like, huh? And we go, that's it, And he go, well, how about this instead? We go, no, do the first thing you came up with. That is cool. And he goes, I don't remember what I did. Chris stops and goes, he stops, he goes, I remember what it was, George. And he comes in and shows him. Because Chris and George work together. Chris is the engineer. And he
Yeah.
watches everything that George does and remembers everything he does. And
We're
he go, it
recording
was like
everything.
that. He records it too. And then we're sitting there and all of a sudden we got a part and we'll play it 4 or 5 times and lock it in and record it. And that's pretty much the way, George would be sitting there. I'd walk in the room one day and George is playing this 12 string and he's playing this riff that was voice noises in the sky, that one. And he was playing the riff and I'm going, ooh, you got the 12 string out. Let me grab my 12 string bass. And I pull my grab and I said, what are you playing there? And he started playing it. And so I started finding what I need to do. And then Ray comes in and all of a sudden he just sits down. And what I love about Ray is Ray doesn't sit down and try to figure out what he wants to do. He sits down. If I come up with a riff, he'll go, oh, I got it. Boom, and it's there. It's like, when we go back and kind of change this, or maybe should I do the tom here instead? What he does is like, oh my God. Thomas
He seems
Bridges
like
was
he's a
kind
very
of like,
chill guy, very much like the Iceman, kind